Well, hello, good people. Welcome to another Two for Tuesday Grief and Motivation Talk with me, Kanisha. I am ecstatic to be with you today. I've got a very interesting topic to cover today. So, we are going to talk about, was their death my fault? And no is a complete sentence. Received my Live Again bundle, I encourage you to click the link in my bio, or if you're watching this on YouTube, to go to iwillliveagain.com and to download your free Live Again bundle. So in this bundle, I have incorporated all of my favorite tools that have helped me through my grief season. So journaling was one of the many forms that I used in order to process the thoughts and feelings that I was having deep down inside. If you're like me, you may struggle with talking to people and telling them exactly the things that you're feeling. And so journaling is one of the ways where you can just completely release yourself to say everything that you're thinking and feeling inside. And it can be done privately. I like to call your journal as your safe space, right? Think of it as going to the restroom. You wouldn't invite anyone in there with you. You wouldn't disclose the things that go on in the restroom. I want you to treat your journal the same way. So the way that you talk about the things that you're feeling, and I mean, they can be far left field, but I just want you to have a way to be able to release and to process everything that you're feeling deep down inside, whether it's grief or everyday life. If we're not talking about these things, then we're holding on to that tension inside. And I want you to have a healthy way to release it, because holding on to stress and pain and anger and grief, it only does anything but to hurt your health soul. All right? You know, it can fester in your body as ulcers. I used to develop those a long time ago when I would just hold on to the things that I was feeling and I wasn't talking to anybody. I wasn't in therapy. You know, I was acting like everything was okay and it really wasn't. And so one of the easiest ways that you can begin to process these things is by getting a journal. And there's different forms of journaling. It's not just a freestyle, picking up a notebook and writing, but you can also do prompt journaling, which is included in the Live Again bundle. Also in that Live Again bundle is affirmations. I absolutely love affirmations. I totally believe in them. I have seen them work in my life. Affirmations are simply calling forth the things that you may not see right now, or the things that you may not be right now, and calling them forth into your life. And so I just did a post on my affirmations, and I just literally believe that if we can say things like, I am strong, I am wiser, I am better, even though we may not feel those things, in our subconscious mind, we are telling ourselves that we're ready to become the things that we may not be yet. And so by speaking affirmations, repeating them daily, posting them up around your house, if you use Post-its, and put them on your mirror as you're brushing your teeth, as we're thinking and saying these things to ourselves, we're in our subconscious mind saying, you know what, I am ready to become the things that I may not be yet. And so as we continue to push forward, those affirmations are going to be something that's pivotal for you. And so those are the two pieces that are included in that I Will Live Again bundle. So if you are experiencing grief right now, or you know someone, you can click the link in my bio and grab that free I Will Live Again bundle. Or if you're watching this via YouTube, then if you visit iwillliveagain.com, you can download it there. All right? So as we normally journey into our grief and motivation talk every Tuesday, I always start with an inspirational moment coming from my Strength and Healings book. And so today, as September 15th, I'm going to read to you what it says. So it says, there is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. Sometimes I feel discouraged and I think my work's in vain. But then the Holy Spirit revives my soul again. If you can't preach like Peter, if you can't pray like Paul, just tell the love of Jesus and how he died for us all. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal a sin-sick soul. And so I wanted to talk about this simply because we've heard the songs, or if you've been in church and you've heard of the song, There Is a Balm in Gilead, what does that exactly mean? And there's a bee that's flying next to me, so y'all excuse me because I don't do bees. Oh my. Okay. Sorry about that. So if you've heard the song There Is a Balm in Gilead, we sing it and we've heard it, but as I was reading this, it made me actually have to go and do just a little bit of research on exactly what is a balm in Gilead. And so when I did my research and discovered, so a balm in Gilead was a type of medicine that if you were sick in your body, or if you were sick all over, that you could go and you could get this literal medicine, balm in Gilead. In the Christianity, hey grandmother, in the Christian culture, the balm in Gilead is referred to as Jesus Christ. So if you're going through something, if you are hurting in your soul, if you are grieving, if you are going through a tough time, the balm in Gilead refers to Jesus, because what we don't want to do is start to do things that are unhealthy, or find other ways outside of Jesus as our healing, right? We don't want to go into drinking. We don't want to engage in illegal substances. We don't want to find other unhealthy ways to cope with what we're dealing with. Rather, we want to go to our number one healer. We want to call on the person who is going to provide that healing for our soul, which is Jesus Christ. And so balm in Gilead, while it is a literal term for medicine, it is also a spiritual term that whatever we may be facing, that if our foundation is rooted in Jesus Christ, then we should be able to turn to him while still in our pain. Not saying that it's over and not saying that we've gotten through it, but we need a means of getting through it, and that's why we should call on the name of Jesus to help us see us through. And so that was today's strength for healing and the inspirational moment for today, September 15th. And I'll read it again. It says, there is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. Sometimes I feel discouraged and think my work's in vain, but then the Holy Spirit revives my soul again. If you can't preach like Peter, if you can't pray like Paul, just tell the love of Jesus and say he died for us all. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. So again, if you are struggling right now, if there is turmoil, if you got some challenges that you're going through, and you believe that Jesus Christ is the one who will be able to turn this thing around, he is a miracle worker, then I implore you to get back to your foundation. Get back to praying. And one of my videos that did really well for me was, praying simple prayers. Our prayers do not have to be, these and thous. They don't have to be long and drawn out. Some of my most effective prayers have been ones where I've just said to God, okay, you said that you were going to protect me. You said that no weapon formed against me shall be able to prosper. You said that I am the head and not the tail. You said that you are my provider. So I will call back to God all the things that he said in his word, because we know that the word cannot fail. So I implore you that whatever you may be facing or whatever you may be going through, that you lean on to God and let him be that balm, that healing for your soul. All right? I'm going to let this airplane go by. So as we transition to today's two topics, as I said from the beginning, we're going to talk about, was their death my fault? And no is a complete sentence. All right. So was their death my fault? So this came to me as a question. I had posted a questions box on my story yesterday, that if anyone had any questions about grief or needed any advice on what you're going through. And so I got a response from someone who, they're struggling right now because they're grieving the loss of their loved one, and they have this feeling that it may have been their fault. And so I had said in my response back to them and to you now, we eventually will get to a point where we understand that death is inevitable. We all know this, but it's hard to comprehend in the immediate aftermath of losing our loved ones. That's not something that we typically want to think in that moment. We are human and we want our loved ones still here with us. And so in that moment, it's like, well, I don't care if it's inevitable. I don't care if, it's going to happen to us all. I want my loved one here now. And so eventually we will reach that point. But there is a phase in the grief process that's called bargaining, where you begin to ask those questions. Could I have done more? Did I not do enough? Did I ask the right questions? Did we make the right decisions? All of those thoughts and feelings, they are completely normal. And that's why they're a part of the grieving process. And so for the person who sent that question to me, and to anyone who is, watching this, and you may be experiencing those feelings right now, and I want you to know that it is normal to ask those questions. It is completely normal to say, did I do something wrong? Was this my fault? Perhaps it was an accident, or maybe it was something that you think could have been avoidable, but maybe it truly wasn't. I say this from my own grief experience, is that, our loved ones and us too, we all have an assignment that we're given to do. We all have a purpose, right? So whatever we are facing, we have to know and understand that we have an assignment, and we have a day that is our day to say, you know what, God, He's going to call us back home. We're on borrowed time. He allowed us to experience this thing called life, but just as He was called back up to glory, we too shall be called back. And so once our purpose has been fulfilled, our assignment is complete, whether we believe it's done for that person, that is when God calls us home. And so it takes time to get to that revelation. It's not something that immediately you will think that, okay, all right, I guess this was supposed to happen. In the immediate aftermath, that first year, the first couple of years, we're going to wonder, did I do enough? Did I make the right decision? I can tell you from my own experience, I battled with that with my mother. She chose to have one particular surgery. She decided to have a lumpectomy instead of mastectomy. I've often wondered, hey, maybe if she would have had the whole surgery, would that have saved her? So these are the same questions and thoughts that we all have. But at the end of the day, whatever their journey is, whatever their mission, whatever their purpose, their assignment was, it was fulfilled. And so we can't determine, how we will leave this earth. We can't determine when we will leave this earth. But just know that God gives us all an assignment. That's why it's important to find our purpose, because we don't want to leave this earth without having fulfilled whatever our purpose is. And so I just want you to know that your loved one's passing, your loved one's death, it is not your fault whatsoever, okay? I don't want you to ever think that, I did this. I made this happen, unless we commit murder, it's never going to be our fault. And so we just have to know that through the grieving process, bargaining is what it is called, is that thing where you start to ask the questions like, did the doctors do the right thing? Did we give them the right treatment? Did they have enough therapy? Could I have done something different? Maybe I should have. Could I have? All of those what if questions, it's normal. Okay, it is completely normal. It's a part of the process. But once we start to move through the process, we will eventually come to the point to where we understand and we truly know that death is inevitable, death happens to us all, and that no, it was not your fault. It was not anything that you did to have caused this, all right? And so for that person who asked that question, I hope that answers it for you. It is a very important question, one that many of us who are experiencing grief have faced. And so I wanted to answer that question live. Or if someone else may be thinking that, this was my fault, it is absolutely not your fault at all. It is just a fact of life. And once we be gentle with ourselves, continue to work through the process, then we will reach that place where we understand that, my loved one's mission was fulfilled, their purpose was complete, and it was time for them to return back to our God. So that was topic 1. And then for topic 2, for grief and motivation talk, on the motivation side, I want to talk about no being a complete sentence. It is okay to say no without an explanation, without justification, without having to give anything else outside of that. Now, what do I mean by no being a complete sentence? I feel that sometimes we get ourselves wrapped up into situations or doing things that are spirit says we probably shouldn't do, but we say yes just because. And here is my rule of thumb, my own personal rule of thumb that I have just kind of established over myself, that I have to have peace in whatever decision I make about anything. It does not matter what it is. It can be as small as purchasing a loaf of bread at the grocery store and I think it's too high. I have to have a sense of peace about the decisions I make, because guess what? You're the one who has to sit with that decision. Be it something small, be it something on a greater scale. You have to be the one to sit with that decision, and then to sit with the consequences that come after it, okay? And so I want you to know that it is okay to say no. No is a sense of boundaries. You may not be in a position to do something or want to do something, right? If you get a phone call from somebody that says, hey, can you loan me a couple $100? I'm in a tight space right now. If you don't have peace about that, if you don't immediately say, yeah, sure, I got you, whatever you need, no questions asked. If that's not your response, if it's, I've let you borrow some money before and I'm still waiting on it back, if that's the kind of wrestle that you have, then no might need to be your complete answer, and say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not able to do it this time. Or if somebody wants you to go somewhere and you're not really feeling it, like, you had plans on resting and being in the house, and somebody's outside of COVID, but somebody wanted you to go somewhere, go to the mall or something like that, and you like, no, I was ready to rest today. But now when you think about it, you gotta get up, you gotta get dressed, gotta get in the car, gotta go to the place, gotta hang out, don't know how you'll be there, you wanted to be home. If it doesn't bring you a sense of peace, it's okay to say, no, I'm not really feeling that. No, I'm gonna pass this time, right? These are boundaries. These are things that help you maintain mental peace. And like I said, this is the things that I do for myself in my own life. If I don't have peace about it, I'm not going to do it, because I know what having a restless spirit does to you. You'll sit up and you'll think about it. You'll be like, I said yes and I really didn't want to. You know what? I'm regretting doing that. No is a complete sentence. And this is something else. This is something actually I've learned in my professional career, but I let it translate over to my personal life. I had a supervisor once before who said, this was as it pertains to responding to emails, because sometimes, people pop off of their emails and you're ready to clap back at them, right? So in my younger days, and when I was being mentored, one of my supervisors, she told me, she said, if you receive an email, it doesn't feel right, take some time, like step away, take some hours away from it. There's no reason for you to respond in the moment, right? We need to step away, because if we start to respond in the moment, we're responding from a place of emotion instead of a place of reasoning. And so I have taken that piece of advice and I've put it into my life, that if somebody asks me to do something, or if they want something and I'm kind of on the fence, it's like it's not an absolute no, I kind of want to say yes, but I'm not sure, give yourself 24 hours before you make a decision. If it's an emergency, that's kind of different, so you'd have to weigh the circumstance. But I would encourage you that if it's something like that, take 24 hours. If it's something that you're really not sure, like, I don't know if I should do this, I don't know if I really want to, go there or take that trip, or, whatever it is, give yourself a couple of minutes, an hour, or even a day to say, let me get back to you. And then that way you can process the decision. You can make an informed decision rather than jumping the gun, saying yes to something that you really wanted to say no to, and then having to deal with the consequences that come thereafter. Okay? So I want you to be encouraged that no is a complete sentence. No is boundaries. Okay? And no protects your peace. Above all, no protects your peace, if that's your response. Okay? So I wanted to share these two with you again. If you came in late and you missed any of this, these links will always be up in my story feed, and it will also be on my YouTube channel, which you can click the link in my bio to subscribe. That's where all of my grief and motivational talks for Tuesday, as well as other just videos are posted. But if you have any questions, or if you would like for me to answer anything as it pertains to grief, send me a DM. I would love to hear from you. And then again, if you have not downloaded my free I Will Live Again bundle, which includes a healing journal and healing affirmations, you can visit iwillliveagain.com or click the link in my bio to download it today. All right, I hope that blessed you all. I hope that you found some encouragement in knowing that your loved one's passing was not your fault. You had nothing to do with it, that it was merely just their time. They have completed their purpose, and that God said, okay, I'm ready for you to come home to me. And then two, that no is a complete sentence, that it's about boundaries, it is about protecting your peace, and it's above all not doing anything that doesn't sit well with you. And so I hope that blessed you. I hope that you feel encouraged. I will be right back here next Tuesday, 12 o'clock, for Tuesday Grief and Motivation Talk. I will see you soon. Have a phenomenal week, all right? Be blessed and have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.